Good evening, everybody. I haven't done one of these little mini videos in a while since we started filming for the actual full episodes, but I figured while I had a minute, I'd keep your interest engaged on some stuff I got. I'm going to be doing another comparison video. This is a battle between two different kinds, two different expressions of Old Forester. Now, let me pull these up for you. Now, I'd gotten this one at my local grocery store. It's Old Forester 1897 bottled in bond, and it is a Kentucky straight bourbon, and I've enjoyed it. It's 100 proof, so it's pretty hefty stuff. I am a member currently on Facebook of a group called the Central Ohio Whiskey Society, where they compare and they talk about different bottles and things, a lot like what I do, but in more of a group setting. And when I told them I'd gotten this one, everybody there told me that, well, this one was good, this one was better. And this is the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. Now, there's a little bit of a story behind this one. The other one is pre-Prohibition. It's from when they first got their bottling license. Let me see what the little story says on it. The 1897 was bottled after the passage of the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897. Now, the second one, the 1920, Old Forester during Prohibition was bottled as medicinal whiskey. It was medicinal whiskey, which is kind of a rare exemption for a few distillers during Prohibition, because they did still use whiskeys and bourbons for quote-unquote medicinal purposes. Like if you were, you needed to calm down, or you needed to have some pain relief or something like that. And so this was still able to be produced during Prohibition. So the recipe is pretty much identical to what it was at the time. This one is 115 proof as opposed to 100 proof. And I've been told, like I said, by the folks over at the Central Ohio Whiskey Society, that this is superior to the 1897. Now, I'm going to taste them both. I've been obviously drinking the 1897 already, but I want to get a good, fresh look at it for you guys here. I'm going to fill my little cups. And it has a nice dark brown, kind of golden color to it, like a good bourbon should. Bottle that up. Alright. I'll go ahead and put my droppers. My water drops. 2, 3. 3 drops is my perfect number amount there. Alright, this is the Old Forester 1897 bottled in bond. And right away, it's definitely a bourbon. Definitely a Kentucky bourbon. It has that burn and that fire. As soon as it gets in, it goes straight to your chest. It's a good way to warm up on a cold day if it was cold out. It's a relatively cool night here right now in Ohio, but it's definitely not cold out, so it has a heck of a burn. Whew. Now, bottled in bond, for those of you guys who don't know, it's a law that was passed to ensure that whiskey makers weren't playing fast and loose with the rules on how they blended their whiskeys. Bottled in bond means that it's produced by one distillery, and that the government has recognized that they produced it, and that it's confirmed that they don't import a bunch of different whiskeys from all over the place, and they don't package somebody else's and call it their own, and a bunch of other little rules. It gets a little complicated, but all in all, bottled in bond is a good thing. For anybody who wonders, it won't always say so on the bottles that you find. Some distilleries use that as a point of pride, and they print it on their labels. Still getting over that cough I've had for the whole month. But not everybody does it, but a good majority of decent, reputable distilleries are all bottled in bond these days. That's fiery. That's fiery. I'm going to have to take a drink to clean up that palate a little bit. Good stuff, though. Heavy stuff. Definitely heavy stuff. Let's see, which one did I just use? This one. I got both my tin cups here to make sure I don't mix up my drinks. So, drop her back there. So now we're going to try. I haven't even opened the 1920 yet. I just got it today, where I've been sipping on the other one for over a week. Smells a little milder. Definitely smells a little milder. But the smell can be kind of deceiving. It's a darker color too. It's a darker brown, getting into the reddish, like a reddish gold brown. Yeah, definitely darker than the 1897. And it's higher proof, so let's see how this stuff treats me here. 1, 2, 3. Always 3. 3 is like a magic number. Okay. It does smell milder and a bit smoother than the 1897. But again, smell can be deceptive. It smells good, though. So this is the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. Definitely richer. The burn doesn't nearly hit your chest so hard. And it sneaks up on you. And it actually gives you a really numbing mouth feel. The higher proof definitely, your mouth can feel that there's definitely a higher proof in there. It almost stings a little bit. Very deep. A lot deeper of a flavor than the 1897. A lot more complex. There's a lot more going on in this one. Not to say that the 1897 is bad. For a Kentucky bourbon, it's exactly what it says it is. It hits like a bourbon should. The 1920 is definitely something different. It does have a depth and a complexity to it that the 1897 didn't have. And I'm getting some kind of caramel notes in there. This would definitely be good either just straight up or as a mixer in an old fashioned. Probably fit very well with an old fashioned. And it sits, instead of just barreling down into your chest and warming you up all at once, this one kind of slowly goes down there and then just sits as a tiny little ball of just warmth and just reminder of what you've been sipping on. This is deceptive. You could probably be throwing back a few of these over the course of a night, and then when you go to stand up, you probably fall down flat on your face and not really realize how much you've been drinking. You can tell it's stronger. You can tell from that mouthfeel. You can tell that the proof is a lot higher. This is definitely a slow sipper. The 1897, you could probably throw some back and enjoy it over a shorter time span. The 1920 is definitely more something that I would want to spend an evening with. I would want to spend an evening with a dram and just slow sip, let that feeling just fill up your mouth. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. It's hard to say which one I like better. I do like them both, though. I definitely like them both. And I can see why a lot of people pick the 1920 over the 1897, because that is a pretty stark difference. I can see why this would be billed as medicinal, too, because it definitely gives you a different sense. A few of these, and you might really be getting a little euphoric and feeling a lot better about whatever situation you had going on. Pardon me. Whew. Whiskey burps. So good stuff. Good stuff. I like them both, like I said. But I think they're both for different situations. The 1920 is definitely a slow sipper over the course of an evening. The 1897 is more for regular, less special occasion drinking. If you just want to have a good shot of bourbon, or it might mix well as good old fashioned as well, or into another cocktail. But I think the 1920 has a lot more potential in that regard. So, so that's what I got for you guys. Old Forester 1897 versus the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. If you guys have tasted either one of these, let me know what you think. Tell me what your choice is out of the two. Price is pretty close to the same, honestly. They're about the same price point, at least here in Ohio. I don't know what it's going to be like in your local area, but the price on these is about in the, I believe in the $60 range, which, you know, for a good bourbon or a good whiskey is about typical. A good whiskey is going to run you between 40 and $60 generally. With some very good ones on the lower end in the $30 mark or a little bit less, and some overpriced ones up into like the $80, $90, $100 range, which I usually don't like to spend so much on. Ooh, them bourbon burps. Oh my goodness. But that's what I got. So if you have tried these and you have a particular opinion on it, let me know what you think. Which one do you like better? And I'd love to hear it. Till next time. Cheers.